Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got a huge matchup coming up this week as the Dallas Cowboys get ready to face off against the Carolina Panthers in what promises to be one of the most intriguing games of NFL Week 6. There's plenty of buzz around this matchup, not only because of the Cowboys' recent performances and offensive resurgence but also due to the injury updates, the intensity building up in practice, and what's at stake for both teams heading into the middle stretch of the season. So sit back and get ready because we're diving deep into this Cowboys vs. Panthers preview, breaking down the prediction, injury report, player performances, and the latest developments around CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Booker, and the rest of the roster as Dallas looks to continue its strong push this season. Now, when we look at the Dallas Cowboys, this team is coming off a statement win that reminded everyone why they're one of the top contenders in the NFC. Dak Prescott looked sharp, the defense was dominant, and the offense seemed to have found its rhythm again after a few frustrating weeks. The chemistry between Prescott and CeeDee Lamb was back to its peak, and that's exactly what Cowboys fans have been waiting for. Lamb was vocal about wanting the ball more after a few quiet games, and last week, he got it. The result was an explosive performance that reminded everyone just how dangerous he can be when he's fully integrated into the offense. Heading into this matchup against the Panthers, you can expect Dallas to keep that same energy going, with Prescott looking to feed his star receiver early and often to maintain that momentum. On the other side of the field, the Carolina Panthers come into this game struggling to find consistency. Bryce Young, the rookie quarterback, has shown flashes of potential but is still clearly adjusting to the speed and complexity of NFL defenses. The Panthers' offense has been hit and miss, relying heavily on quick passes and short yardage plays to get things moving, but against a defensive unit like the Cowboys, that strategy can be dangerous. Dallas' pass rush, led by Micah Parsons, has been relentless, and if the Panthers' offensive line can hold up, it could be a long afternoon for Bryce Young. The Cowboys' defense thrives on creating pressure, forcing turnovers, and disrupting timing, and this game could be another showcase of that. Now, speaking of defense, one of the biggest talking points for the Cowboys this week has been their ability to adjust after losing key players earlier in the season. Despite injuries to some key defensive starters, Dan Quinn's system continues to shine. He's done a remarkable job rotating players, keeping them fresh, and putting them in positions to succeed. Linebacker play has been strong, the secondary has tightened up after some shaky moments, and Parsons continues to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. For the Cowboys, this game presents a perfect opportunity to build on their defensive dominance and send a message to the rest of the league that this unit remains elite even when facing adversity. Let's shift over to the injury report, because it's definitely a significant part of this matchup. For Dallas, all eyes have been on the offensive line and how healthy they can stay going into this game. Tyler Booker's status has been one of the most closely watched storylines. The young offensive lineman has been dealing with some soreness and minor injuries over the past few weeks, and while he's expected to suit up, the Cowboys will be cautious. The offensive line has been a revolving door at times due to injuries, and that inconsistency has affected both the run game and pass protection. The hope is that with Booker and a few other linemen returning to form, Prescott will have the stability he needs in the pocket to execute the offense efficiently. Meanwhile, the Panthers are dealing with their own injury concerns. Running back Miles Sanders has been nursing a shoulder injury and has been limited in practice, which could mean more touches for Chuba Hubbard. Carolina's offense hasn't been able to establish much of a run game this season, and that's one of the key reasons they've struggled to control the pace of games. If Sanders isn't at full strength, it's hard to imagine the Panthers being able to run effectively against Dallas' front seven. On top of that, wide receiver Adam Thielen, who has been one of Bryce Young's most reliable targets, has also been managing a minor issue, though he's expected to play. The real concern, though, remains that offensive line. Carolina has given up a significant number of pressures this season, and facing Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and that deep Cowboys rotation is not an ideal situation. CeeDee Lamb's resurgence last week was exactly what this offense needed, and heading into this matchup, there's every reason to believe he'll continue that momentum. Lamb's frustration had been brewing for weeks as he felt underutilized in the Cowboys' offensive scheme. After being vocal about it, the coaching staff made adjustments, moving him around the field, using him in motion, and creating more favorable matchups. The difference was night and day. Against the Panthers, Lamb will likely see a lot of attention from Carolina's secondary, but with Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, and Michael Gallup in the mix, the Cowboys have plenty of options to spread the field. This could be another game where Dallas' passing attack really takes off, especially if Prescott can get comfortable early. Speaking of Dak Prescott, his leadership has been under the spotlight all season. Critics have been loud whenever the offense struggles, but Dak continues to respond the right way by putting his head down, working hard, and delivering when it matters. His Week 5 performance was one of his best of the season, and what really stood out was his command of the offense. His accuracy on intermediate routes, his ability to read the defense pre-snap, and his chemistry with his receivers were all on full display. If that version of Prescott shows up again this week, the Panthers' defense could have a tough time keeping up. Carolina's defense ranks near the bottom of the league in rushing defense, which opens the door for Tony Pollard to have a breakout performance as well. Pollard has been solid but hasn't yet had that signature game this season, and this could be the one. For the Cowboys coaching staff, especially offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, the focus has been on keeping the offense balanced. They don't want to lean too heavily on the pass and risk turnovers, but they also know they can't go conservative. Expect to see a game plan that mixes quick passes, play action, and designed runs to keep Carolina guessing. The Panthers' defense has playmakers like Brian Burns and Derek Brown who can cause problems if left unchecked, so the Cowboys' offensive line will need to be sharp. Getting the ball out quickly will be key, and Schottenheimer has shown he can design smart, efficient game plans when the offensive rhythm is flowing. Now, as for the Panthers, this game is all about survival and pride. They're still searching for their first real statement win under Bryce Young, and what better way to make that happen than by upsetting one of the NFC's top teams? Head coach Frank Reich has emphasized patience with Young's development, but time is ticking. The offense has looked stagnant for long stretches, and the rookie has struggled with pocket awareness and timing under pressure. Facing the Cowboys' aggressive front seven is going to be a massive challenge, and if Dallas gets out to an early lead, things could snowball quickly. The key for Carolina will be finding ways to neutralize Parsons, something easier said than done, and establishing a rhythm early through quick passes and misdirection plays. From a prediction standpoint, this game looks like it could get out of hand if Dallas plays up to its potential. The Cowboys have the better roster, the more experienced quarterback, the deeper defense, and the hotter momentum. Still, the NFL is full of surprises, and trap games can happen when a confident team underestimates a struggling opponent. That's why head coach Mike McCarthy has been drilling focus and discipline into his players all week. He doesn't want any signs of complacency. The Cowboys have bigger goals than just a mid-season when they're looking to build consistency and set the tone for the rest of the year. If we're talking key matchups, it's going to come down to Micah Parsons versus Bryce Young, CeeDee Lamb versus the Panthers secondary, and Tony Pollard versus the Carolina front seven. If Dallas dominates two of those three battles, this could turn into a blowout. The Cowboys' defense has shown that when they force turnovers, the offense usually capitalizes, and that's been their formula for success. The Panthers will need to play mistake-free football to have any chance, and that's a tall order against a defense that thrives on chaos. So, what can fans expect? If the Cowboys start fast and execute early, expect them to take control by halftime. Prescott should have multiple touchdown drives, the defense should force at least one or two turnovers, and the team should continue to build momentum heading into the next stretch of the schedule. If the offensive line holds up and Tyler Booker can anchor his side effectively, it'll give Dak the time he needs to pick apart the Panthers' secondary. Meanwhile, Lamb could easily cross 100 yards receiving again if the Panthers don't find a way to double him without opening up holes elsewhere. On defense, Parsons and Lawrence should be in Bryce Young's face all day, and that's going to lead to hurried throws and potential mistakes. My prediction for this one? Dallas wins convincingly, 31-13. The Cowboys are just too talented and too balanced for the Panthers right now. Expect another strong showing from Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, a breakout performance from Tony Pollard, and a statement game from that relentless Dallas defense. This could be the kind of win that reminds everyone why the Cowboys are still one of the NFC's biggest threats, and could easily make a deep playoff run if they stay healthy and consistent. So there you have it, the full breakdown, injury report, and prediction for the Cowboys vs. Panthers matchup in Week 6. It's shaping up to be another exciting weekend of NFL football, and if you're a Cowboys fan, you've got a lot to look forward to. This is a team finding its groove again, with its stars stepping up, its coaching staff making the right adjustments, and its confidence growing with every game. If they keep this up, there's no telling how far they can go this season. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more Cowboys news, predictions, and weekly analysis, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. I'll see you all in the next one. Go Cowboys!